Well, let's look at some of the games in Week 3 of the National Football League and start with the early ones. And Kansas City and Atlanta, I don't know what to tell you about Kansas City, folks. The one positive is Larry Johnson rushed for over 100 yards. This is an awful football team, and it's everywhere. This team just doesn't get it, and something's got to be done. With Atlanta, they do get it. I love the changes they've made and what they're doing. They play hard. They've got Michael Turner, who's earned to be a starting running back in this league. John Abraham's getting after the quarterback, and Matt Ryan's going to be a stud. I like the way Atlanta's going, but they're going to be like this: win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 3, win 1, lose 1. That's going to be them, but give them a chance, because I thought they'd be a lot worse this year. I'm impressed with what they're doing. Tampa and Chicago. How in the world does a quarterback go on the road, Brian Greasy, and play against the Chicago Bears' studly defense, throw 67 times for over 400 yards and win, and threw 3 picks in the process, and he still won? There's a couple things about Chicago. I seem to think we overrate their defense at times. While when they're healthy and getting after it, they get after it, but they still give up way too much, and they got to be better than that, because they've got some great players over there. And then they make stupid penalty at the end of a game with Peanut Tillman, give Tampa another shot. But you can't throw the ball 67 times on the road and win, and that's exactly what Tampa did, and turn it over and still won. Too many shots for Tampa Bay, and I still don't trust Chicago's offense. They're way too conservative. It's like they're afraid to lose a football game, and it shows. And on offense, both the combination just is not a consistent gig for the Chicago Bears. Tampa goes on the road and gets a huge win in Chicago. The New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati resembled a little bit of a football team, but most of this is about the Giants. The Giants are Justin Tuck's going to be a major superstar in this league. They know how to run the football. They're relentless on defense, getting after the quarterback and attacking, and they never quit. They keep coming at you and coming at you. A 3-0 start for the Giants. Everybody's talking Eagles and Cowboys. I'm telling you, this is the best. This is the most underrated 3-0 team I've seen in a long time. It's a Super Bowl champion, and Eli Manning has become a big-game quarterback. Right now, if you were choosing between Eli and Peyton today, not overall, I'm talking about today in a game, Eli's playing better football, and so are the Giants and the Colts. So Giants are playing outstanding right now. Oakland at Buffalo. The Oakland Raiders, they protect Jamarcus Russell too much with their play calling. I mean, late into the game, they'd only thrown the ball 2 times in the second half. That's not enough. This is a big-time player in the making and going to be a star. You got to open it up. You're on the road. I know you're playing not to lose, and that's what they did, but you can't. You can't do it like that. That's been Raider football for the last handful of years. But when the Raiders were good, they played to win. And then, they got after it. Good job on defense. We know talent, but Trent Edwards on Buffalo is a young quarterback who's playing like he's been in the league 7 or 8 years. And his teammates starting to trust that every time the game's in the end, he's going to pull it out and put him in position to win, and he did. Great come-from-behind victory by Buffalo. They can run it, they can throw it, they can play defense, and they got big plays in their special teams. Buffalo's the best team in the AFC East, and that's including New England, who I saw get hammered yesterday. Buffalo is the beast of the East right now. Carolina, Minnesota, they got it come down to this. Minnesota was relentless after the quarterback and Jake Delhomme. They didn't allow the Carolina Panthers to keep it within a field goal at the end of the game. And if you don't, then the Carolina Panthers usually don't win those. They win close games. But Minnesota threw the ball better. Gus Frerotte gives them more of a threat, so you have to respect them more. And the Minnesota Vikings finally get a win, and their defense got after it. That's the type of team I'm used to seeing getting after it on defense, and they will continue to. Now they're going to have a passing game, hopefully, to match. Arizona, Washington, I love this game going in, and I still loved it coming out. Arizona is really, really good and improved. The couple of mistakes they made yesterday is that in their defensive scheme, and Clancy Pendergast is a great defensive coordinator in Arizona, but they busted a few coverages and left some people wide open, which is uncharacteristic of them. It didn't end up costing them, and then Jason Campbell with this Jim Zorn West Coast offense is finally getting into a rhythm. The NFC East is brutal. If you're faint of heart, you don't want to be in that division. Great job by the Washington Redskins of continuing to apply. We got 2-1 Redskins, 3-0 Giants, 2-1 Eagles, 3-0 Cowboys, and we ought to just throw all 4 of them in the playoffs because they're better than a lot of the teams that are going to make the playoffs. Big win for Washington, and Jason Campbell is unflappable. Houston at Tennessee. Houston is I don't see any signs of why they're not better this year. They need to be. Good play caller. Gary Kubiak gets it. Matt Schaub had no rhythm in the football game yesterday. He was getting knocked around, forcing balls, throwing interceptions, and he usually is very accurate and protects the football pretty well. Steve Slayton runs for over 100 and some yards yesterday, but I don't know if you can count on his toughness to last throughout the season. I don't know. That's been the knock on him. Will he be tough enough? Kid from West Virginia. But Schaub's got to get better, because Matt Schaub, when he's in a rhythm, they got a chance. And their defense will always fly around. I really like their young defense, but they got to score more. And then finally, Miami, New England. New England embarrassed themselves as much as I've seen them embarrass themselves in a long time. And we can talk about how, no Tom Brady, and the offense wasn't very good, but the defense got pushed around and punked. They did, by a Miami team that lined up in a college formation. Ronnie Brown, 4 touchdowns running, 1 throwing, lined up in the college formation and dominated New England. It was like New England never saw it. Look around and say, oh my gosh, what's going on? Miami, Tony Sperano's team plays hard. Pennington's perfect for that team. And you know what? They're going to disrupt that race out in the AFC East, because they'll beat teams like they did yesterday. And they just beat them. It was a tail whooping in a woodshed game by the Miami Dolphins. New England had to take a step back and take a look, because they got pounded in the football game. So congratulations to a Miami team and it wasn't just that. Joey Porter was getting after the quarterback. I mean, they were relentless on defense also. So you got to love what the Miami Dolphins did to the New England Patriots and how they hammered them in the football game. And I don't think the New England Patriots they don't scare you right now. Now, they'll bounce back because they were humiliated, but is anybody out there going to finally come clean and tell me, like we've been saying all along, that Tom Brady did make that big of a difference, that there are certain things you can't overcome? The Patriots cannot, read my lips, overcome the loss of Tom Brady and get deep into the playoffs and be a Super Bowl caliber team. They're going to struggle to make the playoffs under the current things that are going on offense and defense right now. We'll talk about the later games a little later on.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.